Alrighty. I think we're live. How's everybody doing today? Comment in the chat if you can hear me. I feel like that's an important place to start these days. So let me know if you can hear my voice. I see you guys saying hello. From Pennsylvania. Oh, thank you, Keith, for letting me know you can hear me, and Emily and Jess Levart. That is a lovely thing. Okay, we're in a good place. And gosh, it's been a few weeks now since I've been on here for, one of my AMP shows. So thanks everybody for coming back. Hello from Texas. Hello. Let me know where in the States you are tuning in from. I actually am quite excited because I just got back to the States. I was gone for, oh my gosh, a month. I was gone for a full month. In Europe, and I was doing writing, and I'm really proud of myself because I went all by myself and I wrote with strangers and was in a place where I didn't know anybody, and it was cold, and I'm just really proud of myself because I feel like I did something hard and I am better for it, because I think I've mentioned before, writing is something that is not my most comfortable place as an artist. And so to do it in a foreign country with people I'd never met before, day in and day out, was, pretty brave. So anyways, if you are thinking of doing something that's maybe a little bit scary for you, but something you've always thought of, I just want to encourage you to do it because it's very empowering. I went through the experience. I'm better for it. I wrote some great music, and it kind of gives you this sense of like, oh, I can do anything. So anyways, I just want to encourage you to go out there and do something maybe that might scare you a little bit, or something that's new, or something that's a little bit hard, because it will only make you better. So that's my little plug for the day. But anyways, enough about me. I'm really excited because I have amazing guests today. They're joining me from, actually, I'm not sure where they're joining from, but it is the band Cannons, and there are 3 members. We've got Ryan, we've got Paul, and we have Michelle. So I'm going to invite them all into the chat because they're all here. So let's see. Okay. Boop. Okay, there we go. I've never had, I had 2 guests on once at a time, but this is going to be cool because I'm going to have 3 guests. So you guys all just came in here. You can unmute yourself by tapping the little microphone icon, but let's see. So that, we'll start one by one. Michelle, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing really good. I'm so excited to be talking with you guys. I have to just say that I have had your song Hurricanes on like my, just kind of that feel-good playlist that everybody makes for themselves. I have one of those. And you guys, your version of, or not your version, your song Hurricane has been on my feel-good playlist probably since it came out. So I was very excited when I saw I was going to be chatting with you. Let's see, Ryan, how are you doing today?
I am also doing really good. Thanks for having us on the show.
Absolutely. Where are you guys all calling in from?
We're kind of scattered around. I'm at home right now in California.
Yeah, same here.
Nice. Awesome. And then Paul, where are you calling from? How you doing?
Hey, how are you? I'm calling from my apartment in Valley Village.
Awesome. So we're all pretty close together. We all couldn't just
555-555-555.
There you have it. If you want to join Paul, it's 555-555 Valley Village.
Perfect. We're getting nice and personal today. So you guys have a super busy upcoming month because you have a new single, I believe, coming out this week. You have multiple Coachella performances and a show at the Roxy in between the 2 Coachella performances. So I guess I'll start with Michelle. How do you keep your energy up with so much going on, and like how are you prepping for all of this?
There's quite a few things I've been doing lately just to keep up with the schedule. I've been doing the best I can, but when I get exhausted in the middle of the day from especially the past 3 weeks, because like you said, getting ready for Coachella, finishing the album, and these other shows and stuff that we're playing, and music videos. I exercise. I eat really healthy. I have been taking lots of like vitamins and vitamin C and supplements, I guess, lately, and
Nice.
just trying to keep myself physically and mentally in good shape here, so I can show up, you know, every day in the best possible way that I can.
Heck yeah. What's your exercise of choice? Like, are you a yoga girl, a runner? Like, what's your thing?
I am a runner. So my dad was a Olympic track athlete and
No way.
and Olympic track coach, and he trained me most of my life to be. He wanted me in the Olympics, so so I've been running since I was 5 years old. Yeah, and then I ran. Yeah, and then I ran college for Florida State. I ran college track and cross country, and it has been the most beneficial thing for me because touring, I had no idea how intense that would be. But having that background has kept me like ready to go, you know, dancing on stage, singing every night for like 60, 70 minutes, you know.
For sure. Oh my gosh, that was a much more interesting answer than I anticipated. I thought you were just gonna be like, oh, yoga, but no, your dad's an Olympian. Wow, how crazy! And you know, it's funny. I ran cross country in like junior high and high school, and I do think there is something to the like that just prepares your body and creates this like ability of endurance that like even when I'm not in the best shape, it still kind of sticks with me and allows me to quickly get into that muscle memory of being in shape. I don't know if you agree with that, but like
totally.
I'm very grateful because, you know, I don't know why I ran cross country. And like looking back at it, it's a terrible sport, you know. But
it's the punishment of every sport, running. Like you get punished in other sports. They're like, go run a lap.
Yes. So, I remember our T-shirt said that in high school one year.
I ran.
Well, Ryan, what do you do to prepare? Let's talk about your prep.
My prep is unleashing all my nervous energy that I've been keeping stored in for the last couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly,
do you get really nervous?
No, I don't get really nervous. But like this last month living in California, my allergies have been super, super bad. So I'm just trying to take care of myself. Also, the last fly date we had, I ended up hurting my back. And ever since I came home, my wife and I have been doing Pilates and yoga. So that's making me feel pretty good. And I got rollerblades. I bought rollerblades, and I haven't been rollerblading since I was like 12 years old.
Oh my gosh, have you used them yet?
I did. I went out when I first got them. I just went around the block to see if I still had it, and I still got it.
Okay, there you go, Ryan. I believe it. You know, your guys' music, it sounds like the kind of thing I would put on if I was going to go rollerblading. Like, it's got that, like, smooth vibe to it that you hope your rollerblades are going to take you on that smooth journey. Anyways, that's interesting.
Totally.
Very cool. So, okay, Paul, do you want to share with us your health routine lately?
Okay, no. No, I do treadmill as well. I do a little walking and running on a treadmill.
Amazing. Okay. Now, I think Michelle mentioned that you guys are finishing up an album, and I was actually going to ask you guys that. So, Paul, tell me a little bit about what does this album, like, what's the vibe of it? How is it different from your last album? Yeah.
What to say? We've been working on it for a while now. I think there's a lot of different vibes on the album for sure.
We were kind of talking about it last night, Paul.
I did. I don't know if do we share that now, or? I
think this is a good place.
This is a good place.
It's a good safe place.
Well, thank you.
Well, actually, it's a good safe place. I kind of feel like as we were working the album, like we kind of felt like, this song has a kind of like a Fleetwood Mac vibe. This song kind of has like a Blondie vibe, and I kind of feel like every song on the album has like an influence from like a good like female artists from like the 70s and 80s and 90s and like
some Tina Turner
kind of like, and I feel like that's kind of what the album has turned into.
Yeah, so we were talking about maybe it being kind of like an ode or homage or love letter to very strong like female artists that we really admire, So, and we all really like all those artists that Paul mentioned, and they kind of, I feel like, seeped their way in like a little bit to the album because that's what we've been listening to over the past year together while we were touring and stuff. Like there's definitely a lot of songs that we put on our playlist before our show to get ourselves amped up and the crowd. And yeah, it's a lot of really strong like female artists and female fronted bands and stuff that we love.
Oh, that's amazing. Do you feel like, well, first of all, your writing process, and I guess we'll start with Ryan. Your guys' writing process, like, what does it usually look like? Do you guys write when you're on the road? Is it something that you actually do when you're not touring, or like, kind of, where does it start for you guys?
I would say most of it is not on the road, although we have tried on the road, but it's just too hectic and it's too busy. With that being said,
yeah.
There hopefully will be a song on this album that we did write on our first tour. But yeah, most of the time it just starts with ideas floating around. And since we're more of a studio band, we kind of have the privilege of writing individually from our houses. And it kind of just starts with a vocal melody or a riff of some sort, and it gets sent to Paul, and Paul will kind of piece it together, send it back and forth until we kind of we all meet up and we can come up with like some catchy top line melody for vocals.
So Paul, are you kind of the producing wizard of the group? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, I take on that responsibility, whether I like to or not. So.
That's really cool. So you guys, so Michelle and Ryan do a lot of the top lining, starting of the tracks, and then Paul put it together.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Very cool. Oh, okay. So your newest single, you guys worked with, I believe, Tyler Spry on this one. So how do you guys approach working with other musicians writing versus kind of working amongst yourself? Is it something that you do one more than the other? And I guess maybe, Michelle, you can maybe talk about this.
Sure. Yeah, so this was one of the first times that we've ever written with anyone else. We wrote, two songs with two people on this next album, but everything that we've released before we've written ourselves. You know, we wrote, mixed, mastered, produced, done everything. But yeah, so this next one we just wanted to try some new things, and you know, we met up with Tyler and met in the studio, and everything just kind of like happened pretty quickly and magically, and you know, came out with this song, and it, you know, we're loving you. So everyone was feeling it, so we decided to put this out as the first single here. It has such a great vibe to it, and it's really fun to play live, so we're really excited to share it with everyone on Friday, and then get out there and be able to just perform it.
I love it when I write a song that you can't wait to perform it live, because there's certain songs that you're like, yeah, this is a great one to listen to. Other songs are like, oh, I can see this being a really funky music video. But it's so exciting when you know that you're going to get to perform it night after night after night, and it's going to just feel so good. Like, that's really exciting. I love that. And so you guys are going to Coachella in like very shortly. So have any of you guys ever been to Coachella as just listeners?
Never. We've never been, so this will be our first time, and yeah, it'll be on stage, so that'll be a pretty awesome experience, I think.
Oh my gosh, that is so crazy that your first time at Coachella you're going to be performing, so that's wild. How do you guys feel it's different to prepare for like a festival versus a regular performance? Maybe Ryan, maybe this is something you can speak to, or anyone. But do you prepare differently for a festival versus like your own headline show?
In my mindset, no. But if you ask Paul and Michelle, I think they definitely want little bit more of like the upbeat kind of songs, because obviously it's festival energy. So our set list kind of changes a little bit more for festivals, as opposed to if you're going to come see us live, I think you're going to get a little bit more of like our maybe more intimate type of songs. But for festivals, we try to put that high energy out there.
Yeah. And then also we're going to have some really cool stage design that we're really excited about, and put some work into that with a really cool creative director, Kyle Goldberg, who did a really cool setup that we just got to see yesterday, and a sample of what the stage setup would look like and stuff. And that'll be brand new for us, but really exciting. We're creating like with the lighting and everything, just a vibe and mood with it that I think everyone's going to love.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Is this for Coachella or for the Roxy?
For Coachella.
Ooh,
yeah.
Super fun. I love it. So I guess, I mean, I think a lot of people don't realize how important it is to, like, rehearsals are for most artists when you're preparing for tour or for a special performance. Like, I mean, at least it's very important for me. I can't go out there not feeling prepared. And so I guess, how do you guys approach rehearsals, and how does it help prepare you? Like, maybe Paul, do you want to speak a little bit about how you guys rehearse?
Yeah, sure. I think mostly we kind of rehearse on our own, and then a couple of weeks before the show, we book some rooms to kind of polish things out and make sure everything's running smoothly, the timing's right. Because one thing about festivals, like, we only got a certain amount of time to play, only got a certain, like, 20 minutes changeover between bands, so it becomes a little more nerve-wracking. We've got to get everything nice and tight. So.
Absolutely. Is there anything that you do, Michelle, to prepare to perform?
Yeah, I do a lot of, like, bedroom rehearsals. And then also, yeah, big thing for me is making sure that, you know, everything looks good too. So I was, you know, kind of watching a lot of concerts and different things that inspired me. So, like, the visual stuff was important. And then I really like diving into the fashion part of it, and, you know, creating a vibe with what we're wearing on stage, and making sure that we're all, like, have this just very nostalgic feel that fits our music, I think. And also, you know, we toured so much last year, so a lot of the songs we'll be playing a few new songs. We'll be playing a unreleased song. We'll be playing some older songs, and the older songs, like, we've played them so many times last year, so I feel like those are just, like, in my bones now, so I don't need to rehearse them too much. But yeah, that's how I prepare.
It's crazy just listening to you talk. It's like reminding me of, like, wow, there are so many layers to a live performance, you know, that go down the list of, like, of course, you want to sound great. You also want to look confident. You also hope that your style is on point. You know, you got to make, like, the lighting, just, you're, like, really creating this, this full picture, full sensory, like, you're trying to tap into pretty much every sense that you can. You know, with those, like, precious moments that you have to capture someone on a stage. And it's like, you know, it's crazy, all the different pieces that you have to try to think of. And it's like, man, I just thought I was going to be an artist at one point, and that meant I had to sound good. But then you realize, like, oh gosh, you have to be aware of a lot of different things, and you got to learn to get good at a lot of different random things that you never thought you'd have to be possibly good at. Like, I don't know, is that something that you have felt as you've kind of entered into, you know, a music career? Like, have any of you guys been surprised by some of the things that you didn't expect you'd have to, you know, learn?
Well, you saying that kind of reminds me of something that Michelle had brought up, like, last year when in another interview. Like, I think this is safe to say, this is your first band, right, Michelle?
Yeah.
And she was like, I always wanted to be in a band, but I didn't realize like I had to sing in front of a bunch of people one day. I always thought that was really funny.
Yeah. That was actually when we met. I wanted to write songs and I wanted to sing and everything, and I had this music inside of me that I wanted to get out, or mostly like I really liked writing. Like I studied creative writing, and writing is like therapy for me. So, but I couldn't play any instruments that good and finish songs that I was trying to finish on these programs and stuff. So I felt like I couldn't get it out of me. But, when I met the guys, everything like felt so magical and like happened so naturally, to the point where like we just started putting stuff on SoundCloud, and then people wanted more songs, and then they wanted shows, and I was like, oh, I have to get on stage now. I wasn't ready for that because I used to be really shy. So that was kind of my worst nightmare at the time, to get on stage in front of a bunch of people and sing. But that has turned into one of the most incredible experiences. And like, I can't even express to you how beautiful it feels to like get up there and sing these songs and look into the audience and see people singing with me, and this like family that I feel like we've created with our fans and stuff through this experience. So it's been
I feel very lucky to be in a band with Paul and Michelle, and it's been really amazing experience to see Michelle grow as a performer.
Yeah, I stood one place shaking the first show.
Well, I'm curious, that helped you, like, how did you overcome that fear? Was it literally just by like, I'm going to get up again and I'm going to do it? Or were there certain rituals that you started to like practice, or things you do before you go on stage? Like, what was your process in overcoming that fear?
Yeah, I think it's mostly just really diving into realizing that every time that I dove into something that I was afraid of doing ended up being a really good experience and an opportunity for growth. And, I just feel like, while I'm here, all I want to do is grow. So there's nothing that makes me feel better than, thinking I can't do something and showing myself that I can. So just getting up there and forcing myself into new situations through this is what I've been doing. Like, I was kind of scared. I think we all were, because when Fire For You blew up, that was during the pandemic, and our first show out of that was Lollapalooza, and we had never played for more than a couple, like 200 or 300 people.
Wow.
So I was having some nightmares. I was scared. But I just walked on stage and I was like, I'm going to do it. I took some deep breaths, before I go on stage, I close my eyes, I give myself a couple minutes and just take a couple deep breaths and stuff and calm myself physically. But we just walked into it, and that fear instantly disappeared when I saw how just like everyone was there to see us. They wanted to have a good time. I wanted to have a good time. They were here for us. And that was such a warm, comforting feeling that I dove into and turned that fear into excitement.
Wow. That is insane that your guys' first performance, or, your first real big performance was like at Lollapalooza. You went from like open mic night to like one of the biggest stages you can be on. That's crazy. One of my really good friends who performs all the time, I remember gave me great advice years ago. He told me that excitement and fear are actually like your body reacts exactly the same to them. It's creating the same exact chemicals. It's creating the same kind of muscle contractions, like, the same energy. It's just your mind processes one as I'm excited and one as like, this is terrifying. And so you just have to, like you said, embrace and pick the mindset you're going to live in. Am I going to be excited? Am I going to sit in the fear? Like, and it really is a choice at that point. So that's really, really cool.
Yeah. Definitely.
Okay, so you guys have talked a little bit about how the band formed and kind of nodded to it, but I think you guys have a really cool story. So I would love to hear, maybe first we could start with Paul. And I'm curious, like, how did you and Ryan get together in the first place? Because you guys kind of were making music before you met Michelle.
Yeah, we lived together. He was my neighbor. He lived across the street. He played guitar. I was a drummer. So every once in a while, I'd be playing drums in my garage, and I'd hear a little knock on the door, and it'd be Ryan, and we'd start jamming. And we played in metal bands, emo bands, like all sorts of crappy indie bands or whatever.
Yeah.
And been playing ever since.
Wait, how old were you when this was happening? You're like knocking on the door?
I want to say I was in like 4th or 5th grade when we started playing. So.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool and so special. Like, you know, I mean, no one, that story is so rare that you actually like grow up and even keep a friend from like that age. But to like be in a band together and have
a few times.
Oh, well, that was my next question. Who's forcing the relationship?
Yeah, he can't get away. I know where he lives. 5555 Valley Village.
Send me flowers.
Oh my gosh, that's so wow. So what was it that drew you guys to like keep working together, aside from the fact that Ryan won't let you go?
I mean, we just know what we think, like what each other thinks. Like, I think Michelle was talking the other day about how whenever we get together, we kind of just like know what we're gonna do just by like looking at each other, kind of thing. Like, I'll just playing a riff, I'll play some bass or something like that, and we just know where we're gonna go. So, without even saying anything.
Very true. It's like Paul and I have known each other so long, and going back to what you said about co-writing with somebody, when you're sitting in a room with someone that you've never met, it's an intimate thing to share your music with someone that you don't know, and sometimes you're shy and bashful about ideas that you want to, express. But fortunately, knowing Paul as long as we've known each other, we don't really have that problem, which is great. And growing up, we've always shared more or less the same music taste, and it's a really fun, good way to write music. Get a good friend and don't let them leave, and write music with them.
Get a lifelong friend and write music with them forever.
Yeah.
There you go. That's the recipe to music success and happiness. That's the best part, the happiness. So wait, then how, I would love to hear from Michelle how you met Ryan and Paul and kind of started working with them.
So I think it was like probably 11 or 12 years ago, I moved out to Los Angeles from Florida. And I really didn't know anyone out here, but like I said, I had this desire to, write songs, and I couldn't get the sound and stuff that I wanted. So, and I felt like I had this burning desire inside of me to get out this music. So I went to all places, Craigslist at the time. And I went into the, I forget what section it was, but there was some music section, and I made a post that I wanted to start a band, and I wanted to be in a band specifically because I felt like really lonely out here, and I liked the idea of being able to grow with other artists opposed to just like, working with different producers or different, musicians and stuff. I wanted some people to grow with, and stuff. So a band sounded pretty cool to me, and went to Craigslist, made a post, and Ryan had been searching on Craigslist. They'd been searching for like a singer and came across me on there, and we wrote a couple songs without like meeting up, which sounded really good. So we decided to meet up after that, and everything just happened pretty organically. Yeah. Like, we just had such a genuinely beautiful time writing together without any kind of without any kind of like intentions put on it besides having this like need, desire, and love for making sounds that we felt like we wanted to hear ourselves.
Yeah, I think that was the trick. Like we never sat down and said we're gonna write this style of music. And I don't think we still ever have. But and even if we were to be, you know, like if we were to be put in that position, I don't think we could do it. I think the three of us are the sound of Cannons, and we just do that naturally, and it's worked out for us.
Yeah, and that's why it's been a little interesting since the beginning too, is because like when we started and people would ask what we sound like, I didn't know how to just describe it, because we all have something, I feel like, that creates a very unique sound that I couldn't like pinpoint. It sounds exactly like this other band or something. So had a hard time describing it.
Still do, to be honest with what I do.
But all I know is that it comes from the right place, and it comes from like love, and it comes from each of us just really genuinely caring about every little aspect and every little sound put into our songs, and how we think we can make it the best and most like unique, and feel really good about it once it's complete.
Yeah. You know, and it's such a special thing when you know, I don't know, have a certain sound that you're like, this is actually, for some reason, what comes naturally through me. Like, you know, like this is like, what is the sound? It's me and these other people. Like that is what the sound is. You know, because I mean, there is so much noise out there, and there's so much music being created all the time. So it is really special to have something that, you know, because you guys do have like a very unique and your own sound, and how cool it is to hear that that's actually just like very naturally what comes out of you. You know, it's not like you're trying to make that, it just is what it is.
Yeah. I feel like that's a really special part of us. And at first too, I remember being like, or wondering when we put it on SoundCloud, I was like, what do we even sound like? What do we tag this as? Or I wonder if people will even like it. And then I'm blown away, and you know, I think we were all blown away and super grateful for the way that it just organically found its way, you know, to like the top of the alternative charts and TV song charts and all those things, because we didn't try to like get it in TV shows or anything in the beginning. It just happened.
It's all been a labor of love.
Yeah,
it really has. Like we've just been putting out music, and even if like our song didn't get on the show, Never Have I Ever, I think we'd still get together and write music, because we just generally like music.
Yeah. It feels good. It feels good.
Yeah. I'm curious, maybe Ryan, was there a moment when you guys realized that there was like a breakthrough for your group, or a moment that showed you guys that like, whoa, we're like, something's happening, we're on the right track here?
Yeah, I think when we found Michelle, I've always been a firm believer, like if someone just kind of just like listened to our music, that they would enjoy it. And when Paul and I were writing for Cannons, we had songs that we can sing, but we can't sing. You know what I mean? Like we can hold a note, we can karaoke is what I'm saying, but like we can't sing, and we don't have that tone. And I remember when we sent Michelle one of the songs that we were working on before we actually met her, driving in my car and listening back to what she had contributed to the song. And I was just like, okay, I think we have something really, really special here, and we'll just keep chipping away. And then hopefully one day someone will hear this stuff. And fortunately, a few blogs caught on that really helped snowball. Like we were putting a song out, I think a song a month on our SoundCloud. And with the help of like some of these online blogs, they were getting our music out there, which was really, really cool. And it felt good that, you know, something that we were doing that we cared so much about, were making other people feel good as well. And, you know, the messages that we would get from them too, like how much our music has helped them, has always kept us going. When we meet, you know, fans on the road, and they tell us how much our music has meant to them, it makes everything so much more worthwhile.
Absolutely. You know, I've heard people be asked that question. I've been asked that question, but I don't think I've ever heard anyone answer it with like an internal moment. Like, you know, the first moment you mentioned was like something that you felt internally within your group. Like you guys met Michelle and you felt something special. Like no one else had to tell you for you to realize that something was really special. I think that's really cool because, you know, usually my answer for that question would be when I realized external factors were liking me, you know, like when this song exploded, and like that was the moment I realized. But I just love that your answer was like you realized it before everybody else did. You know, you knew you were onto something special. I love that.
Yeah, I think we are our first listener, you know, so we're like writing music for ourselves. So if I can listen back to a song with an awesome vocalist like Michelle and enjoy it, I love it. And Paul, you know, it's a happy family.
That's true.
Yeah, don't worry. We haven't forgot you, Paul. We love Paul. So wait, you guys put out your third album, I believe, last year, Fever Dream. And so let's see, Paul, can you tell us, was there like a theme to this album, or what was it that you were hoping this album would kind of stand for or share?
We're talking about for Fever Dream?
Yeah.
Michelle, I think she had more of the idea behind it.
This is going to go back to just things kind of naturally and organically happening. So, you know, anytime that the guys send me anything that they've worked on and created, especially over the pandemic, because everyone was kind of split up for a while. And at that time I was living in Venice, so a little bit far away from them. But every time they sent me like ideas they had for songs and stuff, I would, you know, spend a lot of time just contributing by, you know, writing from a place of whatever experiences that I was currently going through, or you know, if like lyrically, like Ryan started something, would spark ideas, and then things would kind of just come out of me naturally. And sometimes I wouldn't even know where the song was going or what exactly I'm singing about, but like it felt, you know, like it needed to be written. And the really weird thing to me that happens with songs is like sometimes when I'm writing them, they don't exactly make sense, but maybe like a year later or like half a year later or something, I'll listen back to the songs that we made and they make complete sense in the weirdest way. So I feel like if when at least when I'm writing, if I'm coming from like this flow state, you know, where I'm just allowing, if I'm allowing this like creative force to come out of me in the way that it wants to, and I don't try to control it too much, then that's when the best things come out of me, even if they don't completely make sense at the time, but they always make sense in hindsight, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of it. It's almost like the song gets its own life and finds its own meaning, you know?
Yeah. So that album naturally came together, and then, and we like to think about once it's complete, then we'll look at it and, you know, find parts in each song and kind of like tie it together and find like, you know, overarching like, you know, meaning and thing inside of all the songs that were created during that time. So it's really just patches of time and experiences, and for me, things that I, you know, have gone through and stuff on my writing contribute, you know, what I contribute to it. So when I look back at songs, I literally visualize, it's almost like a movie, a certain patch of time, you know, and yeah.
So I really also like your guys' music videos, speaking of movies and visuals. And so, you know, they have such a glossy, like smooth retro feel to all of them that makes them just look so like so special. And so I'm curious, are you guys like highly involved in making these visuals, and like kind of where does the expression of the music video come from? Is there one of you that's kind of more on that side than the other, or?
I would say, so in general, we all do have the same like aesthetics and things that we like. So it's pretty easy to agree on things. I do like to dive into the story and like, you know, the meaning, and do like to come up with that stuff on our own and then create mood boards. Like I love creating mood boards and like for music videos and stuff, and putting together the vibe, the everything so it feels like the song, because I never personally want to, you know, put out something that didn't come from us, like our creative minds and stuff, because if we wrote the song, I just feel like we know what the video should be and stuff like that. So try to dive into that, and then we'll find someone to like work on it with and help create and help our music video come to life. Yeah. So this last one, we got to work with some new people on it, and we're really excited about it. It's just as dreamy and magical feeling as the last ones that we've been creating, and I feel like we get better every time at putting nice visuals to our music, because that's really important. A lot of people have told us that our music syncs really well to like TV and movies and things like that. So yeah, so that's been an important aspect for us to have the visuals sit right in our songs.
Yeah, that makes sense. And let's see, Ryan, can you tell me like what the inspiration was behind the Hurricane music video? I want to listen to that song right after this. And so, yeah, I think it had like a cool kind of through line.
Yeah, I think with all our music videos, we kind of want to take the viewer and listener on like a little journey. We want to create like we've always talked about like our canons universe, where, you know, sometimes going back to like our genre, you don't really know exactly where our genre kind of fits in. So we kind of just said, screw it, let's just make up our own genre and make up our own universe. And with those particular videos, I kind of feel like we were kind of treating them as like we were here at one point, and then if you rewatch them, you can catch some Easter eggs. We kind of used some of the same people in a few videos. So yeah, I don't know, just something visually really cool. We're really into like A24 films and you know, cult classic movies from like the 80s and a lot of sci-fi stuff. So we just wanted to just create a little mini universe for people to get enveloped into.
Very cool. Well, is there anything else you guys want to say about Hurricane before I play it for all the listeners?
I would say
keep on
that
listening, listeners.
Yeah. That, hope it makes them feel as good as it has made us feel. Right.
Awesome.
Definitely
right,
one of my favorite songs to play live too.
Yeah.
I will say this is probably my favorite track from you guys. It always puts me in a really like good vibe mood.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, here we go. We'll listen to it. This is Hurricane. So good. And I was like watching the video. I pulled up the music video as it was playing, and I was reminded it's such a good video.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Thank you. That was fun to make.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of like storytelling visually, and like I love creative music videos that, you know, like they don't even have to be a complicated story. I just like it when there's that beginning, middle, end. Goes a long way in my brain to connect me to music. So anyways, love it.
That makes me glad.
So you guys, like you were saying before, you have had a lot of syncs, and I love that you guys had a song in the show, Never Have I Ever, because that was such a cute, like, feel-good show. I just thought it was so brilliant, and I love Mindy Kaling's writing, and everything about it was just so fun. But have you ever, I don't know, have you ever had a moment where you were surprised hearing your music in something, or have you always, like, very much been like, oh, this is coming? Maybe Paul, have you ever been surprised by hearing your music somewhere?
Like in stores, but I also get like a text from friends or family being like, hey, your song was just on this like Love is Blind show or some show on Netflix, and I'm like, oh, I had no idea.
Yeah, it is funny how often that can happen where it's like, well, yeah, I signed off on it months ago, but I also didn't know, I hadn't heard of the show, and then randomly, yeah, you kind of...
I don't hear about it. Sometimes it's just like a thing. Or I'll get the email like afterwards.
Right, or some publisher signs off on it, and they're like, cool. It's always just funny when you like run into your song, almost like you're running into a friend at the grocery store. It's like, oh, I didn't expect to hear you today. Like, it's just kind of funny.
That's actually one of the first places I heard it was at a grocery store. I was just wandering through the aisles, and I heard "Fire for You," and I was like, "This is great." I'm in this market. What did that feel like? Oh, it was awesome. It's always cool. Like, I still get surprised when I get in my car and I get a chance to like catch, a radio station playing one of our songs. It's a treat. Super cool.
Mm-hmm. And the first time my mom got to come out to LA, the restaurant I took her to, the first night we sat down and then Cannon starts playing. And that was cool for me because then it's my mom. So who else do I want to impress, right?
Right. How random that it was like the first place you went. It's like, you're like, this almost feels like I planted this moment, Mother, but I didn't.
He told the waiter, she was like, this is my daughter's song. And I think he interpreted that as like, this is her, like, this is my song, this is her song.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
That is so funny. What a sweet, like, that's such a mom thing to do. Like, this is my daughter's song.
She's a proud mom.
Oh, I love it, as she should be. Is any of your family coming out to, or any of your families coming out to the Coachella performance?
Oh yeah, my mom's definitely going to be there, and my older brother and my sisters are coming out, and that's one thing that being in Cannons there's so many things that really excites me, but one thing that was really important to me with this band was doing something that I could help bring my family together create some good memories together, and being able to invite my mom out to festivals over the past couple years here, and my siblings and stuff, and create this like really exciting experience that we get to have together because we all live so far apart. That's been one of the highlights for me.
Definitely. I think that's also a really cool thing about our all of our parents collectively is they genuinely love the music of Cannons. Like, they're not like, oh yeah, our kid's in a band and they're doing their thing, but the band sucks. No, like, I've caught my dad like with his secret like Cannons playlist in the backyard, just rocking out to it all evening. And Paul's dad is a huge supporter.
Yeah.
So it's cool. Thanks, Mom and Dad.
It's the best. That's really special. And my mom is very similar, and I'm so grateful that she genuinely is my number one fan. Like, she plays my my Christmas album year round in her car, like year round, and it's just the sweetest thing when you can just know that your parents or your loved ones, whoever they may be, genuinely support you, not out of duty, but like are genuine fans. There's something so special about that.
On that subject too, I feel like they probably see a part of themselves in it besides us just being like their kids and stuff. But all of the music that I grew up listening to, that my parents listened to, luckily they had really great taste, seeps into the music. And I know the same for Ryan and Paul. So yeah.
So yeah, they're totally like, hey, I, in a way, have influenced this. This is partially my bringing about too. That's cool. Well, before I lose you guys, just first of all, thank you so much for your time and for jumping on with me today. But is there any, last thing you want to share with us about, I know we've talked a lot about like so much that's upcoming for you, but is there anything I've missed or anything extra that you want to share?
Pre-save our song Loving You, enjoy it, share it, and, if you're in Los Angeles or going to Coachella, come see us. Yeah, we're excited to release some new stuff and then get back up on stage and share this whole experience that we love, with all of you. So
amazing. And when does the album come out, or does it not have a release date yet?
No release date yet, but it's going to be really good. That's what I can tell you about it.
There you go. Everybody stay tuned. When is your new single coming out? Is it this weekend?
This Friday.
This Friday. So stay tuned. Yeah. Loving You is coming this Friday, and soon to be announced an album release date. Guys, thank you so much for your time, and best of luck at Coachella and the Roxy and with the release. You guys are amazing. So, go kill it.
Thank you kindly. Thank you so much. Thanks for having us on your show.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right. Well, take care, guys. And I think I'm going to end by, after you jump off, I'm going to play one last song from you guys. I'm going to play Purple Sun because I just like that one. So, woo, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. See ya. See ya, Coachella, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Well, I think we'll take this as a moment to play Purple Sun. So here we go. All righty. Well, thank you guys, everybody, for joining us today. Yeah, in the comments, let me know. Are you? Is anybody going to Coachella? I'm actually not going. I've only been once. I went 1 year because I actually performed with my friend Robert DeLong, who is an amazing artist, and I got to be on his set. So that was really fun. But that's the only time I've ever been to Coachella. So, we've got a Coachella goer. Wish I was going, but you can't. I wish I could. Yeah, I would love to go to Coachella someday as just a viewer. But I mean, even more so, it'd be amazing to perform my own set there. So maybe someday I'll get to perform my own show. But until then, I should go as a just get myself a really cool, sassy outfit, hang out in the desert for a few days, bring lots of water. But anyways, thanks, guys. Always a pleasure to chat with you all. Thanks for being here, and I'll be back next Wednesday. We're kind of starting up a more regular routine again now that I'm back. So anyways, look forward to seeing you again. But until then, have a lovely rest of your week, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.